Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me. I don't have much time today, but we have to talk about a lot of stuff. So let's not waste any second and just let me screen share. Okay. So we have this debunking conspiracy group, which is almost dead. We're like discussing the news, but no new guys are following. Almost no growth uh, is visible, but I have my personal page, which is actually um, more successful in growth, and you can always find me with this strange look here. So whatever. Um, you can also find many groups that right now discuss in Tartaria, for example. Lost World of Tartaria, Tartaria Vanazzo, Tartaria, the Solving a History, and many more. Probably it's just not what I'm talking about. Like, we have a lot. Mudflood, Hidden History, Mudflood, Racine, Wisconsin, Tartaria, Grand Tartaria, Tartaria Magna, Tartaria Moscow, Letter of News and Reports, Tartaria, Knights of Tartaria, The Blue, Tartaria, and many, many more. So, I don't know. Maybe you can find your own group that can be fitting for you. If you want to discuss it, of course. But sometimes it get ridiculous. Um, we have this Reddit Tartarian architecture group, which is like 700 subscribers already, and like guys are posting each and every building and claiming it to be Tartarian. For example, this is just a picture of Raphael, image of Raphael, painting of Raphael. So we can see the marriage of Joseph and Mary. So obviously it's not Tartarian marriage. It's like depicting something from Bible. So, and Bible is talking about the Israel lands and stuff like this. So I don't know if we can claim this to be Tartarian, but it looks pretty much antique, right? And it fits in the era, so it's before the 17th century, and definitely it's depicting the antique times. So we can call it antique, or if we like the Tartarian buildings, we can name the buildings of 17th, 18th, and 19th century, um, like looking Tartarian or something like that. But don't claim each and every building on each and every painting Tartarian. Just call them antique. Antique is the best name because it fits both the Western culture and the Tartarian culture, which was majorly in the eastern part of Asia and stuff like this. So, and we're gonna be talking and expanding on this topic because topic is not really really good explained. So it's like I'm working on it at least. I don't know who else works on it, but I've seen plenty of groups. As you can see, we have a bunch of them. So don't claim each and every building Tartarian. Just call them antique, and that's it. Okay. Like we have also many pictures in this group, and as you can see, this is like they call it Tartarian group, and picturing just the Kremlin in Moscow. And I know that Russia was a huge part of this civilization, but you cannot just call it Tartarian because it's definitely the 18th century, so it could be already Russia, and we see it on the maps that it's called Moscovia, Russia. So just call it the province because the Tartary is also sometimes some else. It's like Siberia. It's a huge region. Tartaria is just a huge region. Asia is a huge region, and we call it this way because it's the best correct name for it. So if we want to call Russia, you just call it Russia or Moscovia, whatever it was. named on the ancient maps, right? Just don't call it Tartaria each and every time. And for example, we have giants here, which looks like French ambassadors or maybe European ambassadors, looking like those musketeers, and those small people here and the giant people here. Also, we have small people here and the giant people here, who are definitely taller, at least um, maybe twice taller or one third taller in height than those ordinary people looking around. So remember Fomenko calling Moscow Kremlin the New Jerusalem, and we also see this strange picture of whoever, the czar or emperor or ruler or leader, is riding a horse, and they follow in it like a, it's called the Christian walk in Russia. So it's like a walk when they walk uh, in certain tradition. And we see those a bunch of crosses here looking, and we've been researching why this crosses actually could be like could be a receiver of atmospheric electricity. And guess what we found out? We found out an article that was written in the 90s when people started to test. It was an area of expansion of television, so we had like not very much channels in USSR, and after the fall of USSR we had like growth, um, exponential growth of those TV channels. So each and everybody wanted to be able to gain as much more as channels as he could, and put different types of antennas, experimented so they can catch the best signal and look like watch the best quality. It's analog signal, of course, but it wasn't digital, of course, in the 90s. Maybe in America it's more expanded. They had like satellite dishes already, but we didn't have them. We only had this analog type of signal, television signal. So those people were actually researching, and one Russian channel also remembered this information. It's like all very old article. I read it like in like 2005 maybe, or something like this. So well, he read it like recently and recalled us this information, so we like laughed at it one more time. So they were testing different types of antennas, and the best one for TV signal at that time was this type of antenna with these crosses and this little plank, uh, with the angle plank or whatever. So I'm gonna be making a video on that pretty much soon. So in one of my series of about the matplot. So whatever. Also, we have a bunch of comments on matplot and money, missing money. So like people like trying to tell me, dude, it was before or between central banking, dumb dumb. Banks were local and independent. Federal money would be during central banking. That's what I'm trying to tell you, people, that it was not a central bank money that we can find. It was just a private money which could be easily faked, and we could be easily told any story they want us to tell. Second comment of this genius: money wasn't guaranteed to hold value from state to state or too far from your area because they were private banks for the area, not federal central banking. Those are towns, cities, and county banks. I live near Washington, Michigan, so it's like he's claiming what I'm trying to say. Actually, maybe it's a language barrier, but you guys, you just cannot understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say exactly the same thing. So, um, but I'm trying to say it looking from above, you looking from below, I'm looking from above. I'm saying that if you don't have the central bank, that means that somebody either stopped them working because you had the central federal money before, and accidentally you coincidentally you start not to have it since whatever 30s, 1830s, right, when Andrew Jackson was supposed to fight the banks, and he had some type of bank war, and he he um, he stopped the work of the Second Federal Bank, you know, and that was the era of no banks when it started actually. So I researched that thing and I read that official theory, right? So and people gave me a bunch of links. I'm gonna read them and maybe try to explain how this official theory is hilarious sometimes, and we can laugh at it, believe me. So next comment by the genius: dumb, you are dumb, you need to learn about our currency and history of what the central banking scam is. So he's like talking about central banking scam now. Federal currency control is what enslaves us and continues to. The government took over the control and printing of our money and took our gold. As I've said, he's a genius, man. But he doesn't even watch my channels. He like maybe jumped on this video, watched a couple of seconds, and wrote 3 comments in 6 minutes, man. You should have watched some of my videos and understand what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Another person. Thank you, Philip. During the 1860s, my hometown's small village cotton mill in Connecticut issued currency to its employees so that they could purchase materials from the company store. Sometimes during the 1950s, what are you talking about? So 60s, 90 years, they were issuing the money from this cotton mill in Connecticut. So that also shows that what the tradition, people didn't want to serve the federal government. They were used to this Tartarian type of freedom style of governance, the self-governance that I'm talking about like a year or maybe 2 years ago. Watch that video one more time about the self-governance, ancient system of self-governance. I probably find that link and just leave it under this video is done. So a bunch of people wrote me with those different links, and but they don't understand that I'm watching this situation from above. So they're like trying to fill my head with this official narrative, trying to explain me that for Frank Delano Roosevelt did that and did this. And so it's like the year of 20th century, guys. I'm not talking about 1913, I'm talking about 1820 to 1840s, right? This the probable years of the mud flood. So okay, let us, just another guy came here, but he is very good commenter on my channel. Hyoko Chief Big Mouth. So he's like writing very nice ones. I won't even read. You can go and read by yourself. Just very nice comments from him all the time. But if you guys know your history so much, how can you explain this book that is les Augustus represented as the tout de le roi de France depuis Pharamond. So it's like the representation of the kings of France, the noble lines. So it's like the Pharamond, the first premier king of France. So we just try Meravi, the famous Merovingians, that you heard about, looking like a Holy Roman Empire emperor. Another Chideric, Roi de France, it's like King of France. Just a bunch of kings of France and going and going and going and going and going. So like each and every one has its history written down here, and we can check it in both cross-checking in different resources. They all those guys could be found, and their portraits look similar to what we have here. So it's like pretty much official narrative, right? So, but we have to agree with it, because if we talk about the real history, we have to look at these types of documents, right? And then we go to Roi de France Austro-Asie. What the hell is that? So, like, trying to translate it immediately here. And we have the King of the Franks of Austrasia. So they didn't know how Australia is written. Or maybe it's talking about Austria, right? Who knows? But this is how they wrote it. We can of course research more and find out that this is how they called Austria, but whatever. So this is where the interpretation starts. We we can scroll all those like guys, and we find the Charlemagne, the emperor of the Occident, which is the emperor of the West. Have you heard about the country they calls the called West? It's the country that is Holy Roman Empire actually, and this guy was probably emperor for a couple of years. And Louis also, this Louis the First, emperor of the West. And then we have again we have Franks. So for a couple of years, the Franks were leading the Western Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. The empire was split from Tartaria the first. So we have all those guys here, and again we have the West, Emperor of the West, one more time. So this could be what we know as Roman Empire, and they could be all mixed up with those guys and be, called different names and duplicated and stuff like this. So we don't even know. But I'm not talking about friends, so I'm talking about validity of this document. So each and every of those guys could be cross-checked and found. But here we go. We can find like guys like this, Sultan de Tartari, right? With different illustrations here also. Areher Sultan di Tartari. Cam. Cam Privilegio. So Cam Privilegio is like he was a duke or something. So it's not an emperor, but he was a duke or something. So again, we have this Stanislav Yablonsky, Palatine et General de Russie. So Poland was a part of Russia, and he was Russian general in that time. General of the armies de Polon. Okay. So this is very interesting. So we have a bunch of different guys here in this book, like the King of Guinea. This is African country, as you know. Hungary. Chef de Rebels so he is like a riot starter in Hungary. He was like probably the pretender. So we have a bunch and got out of the search of this book. But this is the exact book that I've been showing you, the King of Florida. If we just, wait a couple of seconds, I maybe find it one more time. But anyways, we can just, wait a little and I'll find them. So we had a King of Florida, we had a King of New England. So how can you explain that if you know the history of the United States? Right? It's very interesting. How can you guys explain that? And this is the same time that Tartaria was actually existing. This is the same time that we had the Great Britain, we had Russia, we had Tartaria, we had France, we had West as an empire. We had Holy Roman Empire, which was also called the West. So we had Spain, which was probably the part of this is the guy I was talking about, the Cardinal Duke de Richelieu. He was like the great cardinal. He was actually ruling the country during his, and we have even a bunch of books about him. I don't know if I can zoom on his cross, but believe me, he has this Malta type of cross, order cross. Also, we have some popes here. Cardinal Mazarini, also very famous one. Jules Mazarini, also very famous. Leopold, Emperor Germanique. So, Holy Roman Empire in this book was called Germanique. England was called Angleterre. It's pretty much the name of. This is the ambassadors of Siam. Siam was an independent state, or maybe a part of Tartaria. This is the king of Siam. This is the Grand Khan or Emperor of the Tartary. So this is the guy actually was the best, not the best one, but I mean the top person in Tartaria. He had a personal all emblem. Also, Roi de Maroc, the king of Morocco. King of Guinea. Here we have Le Roi de Albion or Nouvelle Angleterre. This is the guy, the king of New England in an Indian head. Looks with some type of, Caucasian face, or maybe little Asian in the eyes and in the nose. But for me, he has like a pretty similar to a, a Russian face. I don't know. I can meet this guy in the streets and don't even wonder if he is an alien or something. This is definitely has a Turkish nose here. We don't have it here. Has like a little of this, but not that much as the Turkish guy. The Turkish guy, he has more longer nose, although the eyes are pretty much the same, and the style of his dress is definitely Turkish, with the turban here and the crown above it. This is the Grand Mogul. The Grand Mogul is supposed to be the Indian governors. Ethiopian king. Very interesting. Grand Vizier of probably the Ottoman Empire. And here we go, the king of Florida. Also this type of nose as the New England king. Also this type of mustaches here. The head is pretty much the same, but maybe more southern clothes. So, how can you explain this? I don't know. Different states had different money. Probably they just wanted to self-govern as they used to do it before the intrusion. And many of you guys in the comments refer to the War of 1812, which I was actually talking about. Also, is a very strange war when we have England, Great Britain plus Russia fight in France in Europe, and Russia plus France fight in England in America, covering up, not covering, but helping the Americans. I don't know how can it be possible two enemies fighting for the same purpose in different parts of the world at the same time? I don't know. Very, very strange information. Okay, so this is what I also wanted to show you the hell door, but before that, let's just check out the St. Petersburg from the air above. So this is the place that probably the city of Alexandria was located, or it was before the flood. After the flood, all this area was flooded, and maybe most of it was destroyed by the wave or something. So like what they're trying to do is right now they encircle this with the road, the highway system, and also do it like this here. But this island was also very interesting for me because it was probably one of the most destroyed islands of St. Petersburg. They don't have much, in fact, but this is the biggest, and it was destroyed during the World War II when Germans were sieging the Leningrad or St. Petersburg. Leningrad, it was called at that time. So we can, just zoom in and each and every site that they, like Menshikov Palace, right? Let's just zoom in here and check out how it looks. So, as I've been saying, the plenty of buried windows on each and every side here. Very, very strange architectural. This is how they built, they say. How can they build such a beauty without the front entrance? If you tell me that this is the front entrance, you are wrong, because this is probably made from the window. It matches the window, it's not in the center of the building, and there's no other entrance except that this buried here. We don't see exactly what it looks like. Yes, it probably was an entrance before, but the entrance is like 2 stores deeper right now. Look at this beauty here. This is design of, this is what we call the antique or Tartarian style, because this is actually the building that was before the flood, right? Again, this one also, look at this. It's just remains. They made it from the windows. Look at this. Restored it here. The main entrance is somewhere below here, like we have it in center here. So when they have money to do it, they do it. They don't have money, they just bury it and just don't excavate and don't rebuild it, right? Most of the time they just leave it like this. This is ugly. Whole this site is just looking like this. All those bricked up windows throughout all the building of Menshikov Palace. All the building is just huge, huge distance. And wherever building we see here, it's just completely evident that is something is wrong. For example, look at this one. This one doesn't have buried windows and windows to the ground at least. And this one has. Why is that? Because probably this one is more newer building, more recently built than this one. And this is the pre-flood one, and this is after flood. That can explain it very easily. Restoration, restoration, restoration everywhere. So it's like a huge, huge amount of work on this island that was performed by those who were inhabiting it. But whatever, we can just, zoom out and check maybe one more place. Why not? Let's go here. It's probably the factories, as you can see, the old houses here. Let's see. This is what Center Mining University. I like mining. Let's go mining. Let's go like here. Oh, okay. Look at this ugly thing. So, if you explain it with the horse crap theory, when they made all this stuff to just not to get crap into their windows, why did they make this like this? This is the perfect way for the crap from all the streets just flow into this entrance inside the building, guys. Of course, you can now say whatever that it's used for, for some other purposes. So, in each and every place that we go, we see either, uh, look at this newer, recent buildings. They don't have it because this is just, stupid to do it this way. Nobody has it. It's just stupid. And the old buildings have it. Why? Because it's a buried first and second floors that we don't see. You know, this is the only reason. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So let's go to hell now. This is also on this island, a very beautiful one, and this is a photo report of some guy who was, trying actually wanted to enter this one and check it out from the inside. How does it look inside? It doesn't have any buried windows here because it was reconstructed, obviously. As you can see, the roof is rebuilt, this stuff. So top floor, two top floors were built probably, or even these two also built. Look at those parallel lines. It could be actually the signs of reconstruction. Okay, so let's go inside. And this is the entrance inside to the staircase. Why does it look this way? Because it was burned. All this place was burned, and people still live in it inside, and they just don't want to do any restoration. But some windows are bricked up, and we can see the signs that something was reconstructed before. As you can see, the bricked up windows here, here, here. And this is the actual elevator. This is kind of a circle one, very strange and very unusual. So this is a pre-flood Tartarian building which was reconstructed with this elevator and some probably modern infrastructure that was put inside. This is how the staircase looks. Very, very hell type of style. This elevator. Probably the fisheye lens look makes this more weird to check. So above the doors we see those strange ornaments or whatever it was. So pretty much all this stuff was burned, but it's still maintained as we can see. It was not restored. Nobody is restoring it. Some of this burnt mm, burnt paint is falling down, and they probably could just cleaning it up while cleaning the stuff. So life goes on. Somebody even put some flowers in, and maybe smokes near the window. But that reminds me what we look right now. So it's like the ancient beauty, which is like people cannot restore, and they just live in it like this, just leave it like this and live like this, just because they don't have enough money to restore it. And this is when we can find all those strange stuff, because this is the original way, and we can check this or check that. It's not restored, it's not re-edited. And this is why I enjoy and walking around and finding all this stuff by myself, and finding and checking this evidence by myself, not just checking the pictures. But right now it's pretty much cold to walk around each day, and we just wait for more hotter days and film some more. It's the top floor of this building, as you can see, very very interesting staircase, and the ceiling, of course, is a beautiful with these ornaments here. So I hope you liked this today, and hope you enjoyed this chat, and I hope you heard me well with no problems and no sound problems. Thanks a lot for watching, and maybe I'm gonna continue with more videos this week, because I'll have more time. Probably chat with Richard tomorrow, and we're gonna discuss his future plans. He wants to make a couple of videos with my also with my performance, my presentations. And see you later, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.